Hey guys, I'm Casey Armstrong. This is WMAP, the world's most amazing people.
Hey guys, it's Jeff, and I'm glad to be here with you. Well, right now, guys, I have another great guest for you. I have Mr. Merle Temple. Now, Merle is the author of the Michael Parker series. It's a series he's written, and you know, there's quite a few books in there. But I don't know if any of you guys have heard of Criminal Minds, and if you haven't, you've probably been living under a rock. But one of Criminal Minds' favorite books that our author here, Merle Temple, has written is A Ghostly Shade of Pale. And Merle is the author of that series. He's got Once Upon a Time in Mississippi, A Ghostly Shade of Pale, A Rented World, and The Redeemed, A Leap of Faith. These novels are written in fiction, but they draw on experiences, and Merle also was a deputy sheriff, but I'm going to let you tell him. I'm going to let him tell you about all this. So, Merle, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, Jeff. Great to be with you.
You too. I mean, this is, I'm looking at your website, I'm going through, I just love to do the research, and it's pretty amazing what you've achieved. Could you just, for maybe 60 seconds or so, just kind of connect with our audience, let them know a little bit about your background, Merle?
Oh, sure. It's I've lived an interesting life, as people say, and I was in the first drug wars as an agent and deputy sheriff before that, and then went into the corporate world and high-level politics. Lost my mind, I think, when I did that. But I met a lot of the iconic figures of the 20th century. I was a state chairman for Reagan. Met Margaret Thatcher and people like that, But in my life, I've been held hostage, by drug dealers.
Right.
While I listened to them at midnight debate where to bury my body, while they ate razor blades and swallowed fire, believe it or not.
Oh my goodness.
And lured out by contract killers hired by the Dixie Mafia to assassinate me near Memphis. Ambushed with my men in a terrible gun battle during a heroin deal with a sniper. Posted up on a railroad trestle behind some trees, opened fire on us. Terrible gun battle. A lot of corrupt politicians I run into. I know that will shock everybody, that they're corrupt politicians. And ran internal affairs investigations on some of the people that those corrupt folks were trying to get into our agency, and so I ran afoul of the politicians. And when the government gets angry with you and you won't play ball with them, I found that they were more dangerous than organized crime figures who tried to kill me.
Wow.
Because they can bring to bear the full force of government against you. And I had that happen to me in a case that corruption and treachery ran all the way to the door of the White House, all covered in my books. And I deal a lot with what I call the unholy trinity of politics, crime, and business.
Yeah.
And it's real, and I try to warn people about it, and I speak all over the country. And my books are used in schools, prisons, shelters, and libraries. They're in a lot of different venues, and we get a lot of nice letters from people all over the world who've read the books and tell me that they've changed their lives.
Right. Now, in that favorite there of our friends at Criminal Minds, Ghostly Shade of Pale, what is the deal with that one? What is the story behind that?
Well, it follows Michael Parker, and Michael Parker in the books, is based on me.
Yeah.
And he gets in and out of a lot of things, just as I did, and on his journey to God. It's some people have compared the series to a modern day Pilgrim's Progress.
Oh, wow.
And I've got a lot of favorable comparisons to some really good authors. I don't know if I deserve that or not, but I'm always happy to put them on my book covers.
Right.
And it's Ghostly Shade of Pale just deals with the first drug wars. Nixon declared the first drug wars. I was leaving Ole Miss about that time and had been to Washington for a while to work for the FBI, met J. Edgar Hoover, and all that kind of stuff, and then came back to school, and so I decided that must be the place for me, and I went into it very naive, thinking the world was a nice, neat, and ordered place, right and wrong. So I wanted to, I wanted to suit up with my armor, and ride off to rescue damsels in distress and slay dragons.
Right.
And I found out pretty quick it's a lot more complicated than that, and the people you think are the good guys sometimes are the worst of the bad guys.
Yeah. Now these are also these are Christian novels, and what necessarily makes them that way, Merle?
Well, again, it's one man's journey to God, and some pretty dramatic things happened to me. With dramatic divine intervention.
Yeah.
Especially the day we were ambushed, and actually God spoke to me that day and scared me to death because I never had that happen before, and told me to do something. And there's a guy walking the planet today who would have died 42 years ago had I not done what I was instructed to do.
Right.
And it's just Michael is a nominal Christian at best, and that begins to change, and he finds out that he's not enough. He's not alone, and he's not enough. And all the miracles that people said he could work begin to run short, and he falls off into a deep valley, and there's only one way to look, and that's up, and to reach out to the transcendent, someone greater than he is.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Hey, guys, if you are just joining me, I am with Mr. Merle Temple. He is the author of the Michael Parker series. The Criminal Minds group over there, the guys at Criminal Minds, they love that book, A Ghostly Shade of Pale. But there are a few other books that he's written here. You can go to merletemple.com. And Merle, let me ask you now, your faith and everything, was that something that your whole life has been a part of your life? Were you raised that way? And that, how did that play out through, just you coming to this point in your life?
Well, I was raised in the church, but I didn't get I didn't understand the personal relationship with Jesus Christ. Right. And I thought God was real busy, helping people who really needed Him. So I would just take care of business, like Elvis. I'm from Tupelo, Mississippi. I'm a big Elvis fan down here, of course. And so that was his logo, TCB. And so that was me. I was out taking care of business, and I was trying to save the world. And one day I woke up and I realized, wow, the world already has a savior, and his name is Merle. And wow, what a real relief that was. And but we went out to Hollywood, and Criminal Minds read the manuscript to A Ghostly Shade of Pale, invited me to Hollywood. What an adventure that was. And I spent a couple of weeks out in Hollywood signing for the cast of Criminal Minds and Major Crimes, and meeting with producers, and did a big interview in Beverly Hills, and Mel Gibson's son Mike me and powdered my shiny head and for that long interview, and later had dinner in a blues club with Morgan Freeman, sang songs with him. It's just been like that. I never dreamed in my life all these things, good, bad, and tragic. Never dreamed I'd be writing about them, but they're great fodder for a novelist in his old age, and I don't have to make up much. I just change the names, protect the innocent and the guilty.
Yeah. So let me ask you. We're running out of time, but let me ask you, Merle. I can see that you're an inspiration to people. I mean, your books are used in high school English classes. They're used in colleges. They're the real deal, and they're not just, people aren't just reading them for enjoyment. They're actually using them to teach. And I know you're inspiring people, but I'm sure there were times in your life, with all this going on, that you were frustrated. You weren't sure maybe what your next move was, but it seems like you've overcome all that to some extent. With all these great things happening to you. But what would you say to someone who's there and maybe they don't really know their dream or their purpose, and they're feeling like you, maybe, well, he's worried more about, the real, people with real problems, not me. And what would you say to them?
Well, I'd say, that you're not alone. Of course, in my faith, I tell them, to reach out to Christ and to give it to Him. Life is so much better. I can't tell you how much better after I did that. And He took all the bitterness from me, all fear, and I honestly can meet my enemies now and tell them that I forgive them, that I pray for them, and that I love them as I'm commanded to, because, I love them as He loved me when I once thought I was unlovable.
Yeah. And you know what I love about that, Merle, is a guy like you who, to me, and to most people, you're the man's man. You're out there, you're having gun battles, you're fighting with drug lords, you're doing all these things. You're active, you're helping, you're protecting people, you're doing everything you have to do. But yet at the same time, I'm hearing you say that it's about, loving, it's about caring, and to me that's amazing. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. And guys, hey, get out there, check these books out. This is Mr. Merle Temple. His website, merletemple.com. And where else can we pick up these books, Merle?
Or go to Amazon, probably the easiest place, and you read some of the reviews on the books there, and see what real people have said about them and how much they mean to them.
Okay. And then you might be having a signing coming up, but we don't know about that yet, or is that going to be with the Criminal Minds people?
Yeah, we're trying to work out the big CrimeCon convention in Nashville this year. It's in early May, I think May 7th and 8th, and we're trying to get up there. We've been invited to sit at the table with Jim Clemente from Criminal Minds and the XG Productions people. Yeah. We signed with XG Productions, and they are pitching the books now for a TV series.
Awesome. Well, Merle, thank you so much for being here today, sir, and I hope I get to speak with you again, because 10 minutes really does not do it justice, but, it is an amazing life you've led, and you're helping and you're inspiring people, and your books are helping a lot of people. Guys, go to merletemple.com. Merle, thanks again.
Okay, thank you, Jeff.
All right, you have a great night.
You too.
Bye-bye. All right, guys, I told you. There you go, Kelly, right at you, coming back at you. That was a great interview, Merle Temple, what an amazing man. Out there doing all these things, fighting the war on drugs, gunfights and everything else. And yet, look at this guy now. What's he doing? He's helping people, he's inspiring people, he's just kept his life rolling, and he's using it for good. And that's amazing. Go to merletemple.com, check that out. And that book there that the Criminal Minds people are loving so much is called A Ghostly Shade of Pale. Ghostly Shade of Pale, merletemple.com. All right, guys, we'll be up a little bit later. 7 to 8, we'll be simulcasting from L.I. MacArthur Airport, so stay tuned.